Good evening to you and happy May Day. You're welcome to News Tonight here on GHOne TV. I'm Natalie for a look at our top stories. Coming up, minority in Parliament blasts President Mahama, accuses him of nominating 7 appeals court judges to the Supreme Court in alleged bid for a third-term agenda.
Against Galamsey is a complex one. As far as the fight against Galamsey is concerned, I say aluta continua.
Also coming up, President Mahama gives strong assurance of improved working conditions, reaffirms stance against Galamsey. At least 5 dead, several injured as investigations begin into deadly Eastern region confrontation. In business, Cocobod to prioritize cocoa farmers in new operational strategy. And on the international front, tens of thousands of white South Africans seek U.S. asylum amid land reform fears. The details of these stories and much more news here on News Tonight. Do stay. Watching News Tonight here on GHOne TV. All across the world, live on Facebook and X at GHOne TV. Here is where we get started tonight. At least 5 people have been confirmed dead following a shooting incident at a sand-winning site in Asiyaw, a community within the Judiciary municipality of the Eastern region. The incident occurred during a meeting held on Tuesday to address growing concerns over illegal sand mining activities, which residents and farmers say are destroying farmlands and threatening their livelihoods. The Mpunyahene of the Adonting division of the Equiapim traditional area, together with his delegation, visited the site to mediate a peaceful resolution following persistent protests from affected farmers. However, shortly after their arrival, chaos erupted. A group of armed men, allegedly acting on the instructions of individuals identified as Tokbe and Alanyo, reportedly opened fire on the delegation. The violent confrontation left at least 5 people dead and several others injured. Police have since visited the scene with a formal investigation now underway to determine the circumstances surrounding the attack and bring the perpetrators to justice. In other news, Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayeni has accused former National Signals Bureau Director General Kwabena Edu-Boahene of tampering with potential witnesses. In opposing bail, Dr. Ayeni cited surveillance evidence showing Edu-Boahene's alleged interference since his earlier release on bail by the High Court. Edu-Boahene, his wife Angela Ejay Boateng, Mildred Donko, a former BNC relationship officer, and Advantage Solutions Limited faced 11 charges condensed into 7 main counts. These include 4 counts of stealing, defrauding, financial loss, misuse of public office, and money laundering, all linked to alleged misappropriation of $7 million in state funds meant for a cyber defense system. Although the accused have pleaded not guilty, the Attorney General's office is pushing for Edu-Boahene's detention. The High Court in Accra will hear further arguments and decide on bail on May 2.
For the Attorney General to show whether there are any residual to be done, because he's insisting that Kwabena Edu-Boahene should be remanded.
Because they have some surveillance that shows that he's trying to interfere with investigations.
That is his say-so. That is his say-so.
You don't believe that?
At all.
In other news, several labor unions marked this year's May Day celebrations with strong calls on government to address the growing concern of Ghanaian workers. Amid growing economic pressures and high cost of living, many workers say they are struggling to make ends meet despite their dedication and service to the nation. Some union representatives emphasize the need for fair compensation, job security, and adequate social protection, stressing that these are non-negotiables for a dignified workforce.
As we stand now, we know the Labour Commission, the one heading, has been changed, and most of our process have stalled because of change of government and what have you. And we hope that the government, in good faith, will deliver as he had promised and fast track some of the issues that have been there for a long time.
Right now, one of the things that is killing us is the industrial tax on our companies. So we are pleading with the president to really help reduce the industrial tax on the companies. Once it's been done, then it is going to affect the workers as well.
We want the president to tackle the Galamsey matter. It's a problem for us. Yeah, we want our waters to be clean. Whatever he must do to make sure that our forests are preserved, our water bodies are clean. That is what we want. So the president should do well to make sure that our environment is safe for our future children.
I would like to take this opportunity to plead to the government to look into the private sector also. I think the government should give them a flexible taxation whereby they can also employ more people.
Our salary is nothing to home. So they should give us good salaries because we are prepared to work. And as workers, we are ready to work.
Yes.
President John Dramani Mahama has joined the nation in celebrating Workers' Day, recognizing the invaluable contributions of Ghanaian workers to national development. The president reaffirms the government's commitment to creating a supportive environment for workers to thrive, emphasizing policies aimed at promoting industrialization, trade, and decent work for all. He called for collaboration and mutual respect between employers and employees to build a prosperous and equitable Ghana.
Fellow citizens, let me say this clearly to all Ghanaian workers. Whether you're a teacher in the classroom, whether you're a nurse in a rural chief's compound, whether you're a porter in the market, whether you're a miner deep in the bowels of the earth, whether you're a security guard on night shift, a digital innovator writing codes from your laptop, I want to tell all Ghanaian workers that you matter. Your contribution matters, and your dreams matter to us. And under my government, we will make sure that those dreams are realized. Let us leave this May Day not only with hope in our work, but with purpose in our hearts. Let us move forward as one people, workers and government, unions and employers, public and private, united in our mission to build a Ghana that rewards our efforts, protects our people, and inspires the next generation.
President John Dramani Mahama says government remains resolute in the fight against illegal mining, despite the complexities that have plagued the battle for years. Addressing the May Day celebrations at the Black Star Square here in Accra, the president said he wasn't delusional when he vowed he would win the fight in 4 months of his administration. He admitted the road has been tough with illegal mining, destroying vast acres of farmlands and contaminating critical water bodies across the country. But he emphasized that the government will not back down.
The fight against Galamsey is a complex one. And when I was vying for the presidency, I did not kid myself that when I come into office, I will win that fight in 4 months. Yet, we will not give up. Our gallant men of the armed forces and security services are up to the fight and will continue to score successes against the selfish companies and individuals who are destroying our forests and polluting our water bodies. As far as the fight against Galamsey is concerned, I say, Aluta continua.
Next on News Tonight, we bring you insight. This evening, coordinator with pro-environmental group Eco-Conscious Citizens, Awula Sewa, joins me now to give her remarks on the president's affirmation concerning illegal mining. Good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on News Tonight. Now, as we've heard President John Dramani Mahama speaking at the May Day celebration earlier today, he seems to indirectly somewhat be asking for some more time in tackling Galamsey. What's your assessment of his commitment and concerns regarding Galamsey, and can we afford him this time? Well, it appears we have a bit of a challenge reaching Awula Sewa on that issue, commenting on President John Dramani Mahama's comments made with regards to illegal mining. You're watching News Tonight here on GHOne TV. And some other news, we'll return to that shortly, but in some other news this evening, the minority in Parliament is accusing President John Dramani Mahama of harboring ambitions for a third term in office. The claims come in the wake of the president's recent decision to nominate new justices to the Apex Court amid controversy over the suspension of Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo.
President John Mahama has nominated 7 justices of the Court of Appeal to be considered for elevation to the Supreme Court. They include Justices Sir Dennis Dominic Ejei, B.L. Simon Subare, Senyo Jamefe, Kweku Tewia Akabuafo, Philip Bright Mensah, Jana Pari Bates Kujo, and Justice Hafi Sata Amaliboba. Addressing the media in Accra, Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin described the nominations as a calculated move by the president to consolidate power and influence the judiciary.
I want all judges in the country to know that their institution is under attack. The NDC government is approaching you, the judges, telling you that, oh, Torkornoo does not have a good interpersonal relationship. She is snobbish, she is this, she is that. But I want you to know that if they allow them to use you today, tomorrow they will come after you. Act collective. It is your institution which is under attack. It is obvious that the bold attempt by Mr. President to nominate out of the blue 7 judges to the Supreme Court is the first major attempt at all that they have rehearsed, a third term agenda.
Meanwhile, the leader of the People's National Party, Janet Nabla, has called on Ghanaian women to join an upcoming demonstration aimed at piling pressure on the president to reverse the suspension of the Chief Justice.
President Mahama has acted with reckless disregard for due process. When a petition was filed against the Chief Justice, he refused to follow the legal process and bypassed natural justice by rushing the matter to the Council of State. When a court injunction was filed, he disrespected the authority of the court and went ahead to suspend the Chief Justice. This is a president who believes he is above the law.
Also weighing in, the 2024 flag bearer of the National Democratic Party, Alhaji Frimpong Mahama, accused President Mahama of orchestrating a quiet takeover of the judiciary and demanded an immediate reversal of the suspension.
Therefore, the NDP calls on His Excellency, President John Mahama, to revoke the suspension of the Chief Justice with immediate effect.
Well, we stay a while longer on this topic as we've been joined via Zoom by Dr. Tanko Rashid Computer. He is the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC. Good evening to you, Dr. Rashid, and thank you for joining us here on News Tonight. Now, as you've heard from the minority, your party has been accused of packing the judiciary with the aim of sidestepping the Constitution in the bid for a third term for President John Dramani Mahama. What's your response to these claims?
Let me say good evening to you and your cherished listeners and viewers. The minority in cahoot with MPP are hypocrites. They are complete hypocrites, total hypocrites. Look, they ruled this country for 8 years. Nana Addo was the president for this country for 8 years. Is it because he was called Nana Akufo-Addo and the current president is called John Dramani Mahama? That is why they are doing that or what? Let's go back and listen to them. The current justices of the Supreme Court, we have 13 currently sitting, 13. Out of the 13, only 2 were appointed by previous president. Only 2 out of the 13, the current one. Justice Bafo-Boni was appointed by President Kufuor. And then Justice Kwama, President John Dramani Mahama. The rest of the 11 justices were appointed by Nana Akufo-Addo. What kind of hypocrisy is that? And people are not telling them this in their face. John Dramani Mahama just appointed 7. Compare that one. We are even talking of the Supreme Court judges. Go back to the appeal court and check the High Court. Nana Addo appointed over 50 judges. Where were these people? Where were these people? Hypocrites. Has the president sidestepped? I'm holding here. Look, I have the 1992 Constitution here. Look at it. 1992 Constitution. They should tell me which part of the articles that the president has violated. Article 128 talks about the Judiciary, the Supreme Court. And it's talking about the Chief Justice and not less than 9 judges. That is why the Supreme Court is talking. So there's no stealing in it. Here, it's very clear. And I'm going to read it clearly and you'll hear. The Supreme Court shall consist of the Chief Justice and not less than 9 other justices of the Supreme Court. Has the president done anything wrong in appointing this? When Nana Addo appointed this large number of judges, was he seeking for third term?
So, Dr. Tanko, you're saying in essence that your defense is the fact that the previous administration also made some appointments. Yes?
I'm saying that is it. The president has not done anything wrong in appointing per the Constitution. He has not done anything wrong. If the fact that he has appointed judges to the Supreme Court is the basis for this useless accusation they are bringing out there, then Nana Addo should have been the number 1 person to be accused because he appointed more than that.
Outside of the appointments, what do you make of their accusation or claim of President Mahama having the desire to bid for a third term?
We are not going to follow MPP into the gutters. They want to set some agenda that we won't fall into it. What kind of behavior is that? When they remove Charlotte Osei and her 2 deputies, were they preparing the grounds to go for third term? Was that their intention? The whole Electoral Commission that was meant to conduct election, they decided to remove them and brought their own party people as commissioners. Did Ghanaians accuse them of trying to prepare the grounds for third term? So does it mean that anything President Mahama is doing now, it's within his powers as the Constitution granted him those powers? They are trying to undermine the authority of the president. We, the NDC, as a party, will resist it. We won't allow anybody to undermine the authority of the president. He's not the first time to be elected president in this country. Others did worse things. Where were they? Even when Nana Addo was about exiting office, he wanted to appoint judges to the Supreme Court. What kind of hypocrisy is that? The president is following due process, and then these people are out there making noise and then making all manner of I'm surprised at their parakeets who stood at that platform and were making vile noise, as if Charlotte Osei was a gentleman from Togo. She was a lady. Where was that Nabila girl? When Charlotte Osei was removed, and her deputy, another lady, Mrs. Amankwa, where were Nabila? Such hypocrites should not be entertained on any serious platform. So for them, they were not women. Okay. They were not women.
Well, Dr.
What kind of hypocrisy is that?
Dr. Tanko, how about the claims by the minority in the sense that the Minority has also put forward some claims that the current administration is somewhat engaging with judges or speaking to judges to push out the CJ to ensure that they then have more prominence. I mean, what do you make of that claim as well? And it's sort of somewhat likened by the MPP to declarations made by President Mahama at the NDC's lawyers conference back in September last year. I'm relating that to what's currently happening with regards to the Chief Justice and these comments made by President Mahama, if you will recall, last year that appoints an Attorney General who will be a true Minister of Justice, not a political party wing director. How do you tie in these claims by the minority and the comments made by the President last year?
You see, I'm saying the minority is a confused group of minority. It's like the defeat has confused their thinking capability. Let me point to that. I was in that meeting in September at home, the lawyers' conference. I was part and parcel of that meeting. I sat through the meeting. Today, they are changing words and putting words into John Dramani Mahama's mouth, which he never said. In another vein, they were talking that John indicated that he's coming to remove Chief Justice. They should play the tape. Your cameras were there. Whether His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ever made such a statement that when I come, I'm going to remove the Chief Justice and other things. Never. He never made such statement at all. They're just concocting their own stories and expect everybody to fall into that kind of line. Let me tell you, under Article 146, 10, that's clause 10 of under Article 146, gave the president discretionary powers to suspend the Chief Justice when there is a prima facie case against such when we call them the Council of State find out that there's a prima facie case against the Chief Justice. The president, under Article 146, Clause 10, has some discretionary powers to do that. He has exercised. He's not the first person to exercise judicial powers or discretionary powers. Look, judges at the lower court, higher court, Supreme Court, all of them, even Madame Tukono, sitting as a judge at the Supreme Court, exercise discretionary powers. We've been there. We've been to court severally, and the judge will just exercise his or her discretionary powers. You can't question it. So now, the president under that article also has discretionary powers. He exercised these discretionary powers and hell break loose. Every hell must break. Why? Is it because he's John Dramani Mahama? What kind of hypocrisy is that? What wrong has he committed? Are there the judges in the country who are going to push up Madam Tukono? It's a petition. When Professor Kweku Azar sent a petition to Nana Akufo-Addo in December, didn't Nana Akufo-Addo, under Article 146, forwarded the petition to the Council of State? He did say the Council of State looked at it and said there was no prima facie. Brought it back to Nana Akufo-Addo.
Now, Dr. Tanko, is the NDC with a particular preference for a Mahama appointee to be CJ, to be Chief Justice?
That is not our business. The business is that at the presidency, he has that power. If there is a vacancy, he has the power to appoint. That one is the Constitution has given him the powers. The prerogative of the president is his prerogative to appoint if there is a vacancy. If there's no vacancy, why will he appoint? So if there's a vacancy is created. We cannot leave it like that. Today, Madame Tukono is on suspension. And then the senior most among them is Bafo Boni, per the Constitution. He is acting. The president has not appointed anybody there. That is, he's just following the Constitution. Justice Bafo Boni is now the acting CJ. If they come out with their verdict, the committee comes out with its verdict. And the verdict is that Madame Tukono should step aside. That is the finding. It is left with the president to accept or not. If the president so accept it, there will be a vacancy, and he will appoint. Or because he's John Mahama, he shouldn't appoint if there's a vacancy there. I don't get it. Sometimes we behave as if we came from different planet, and NPP also are in charge of F. And so they can just get up and say anything, and everybody should follow them. And they are forcing people to believe what they are saying. When under their regime, they did worse things. They were appointing their party people into Supreme Court. Party people are high court judges. We know that we can catalog all of them for them. Now look at the 7 people His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has appointed. You can't even trace a party, sincere of party team against any of them. These are seasoned judges. These are people of high stature in society. He won't do that. He wants the betterment of Ghana. The president wants the betterment of Ghana. And then so he appoints the people who he thinks are qualified enough to do the job. And he just done it. I've just given you. Currently, we have 13 of them sitting there. Only 2 are appointed by former president. 2 former president, Kufuor and then John Dramani Mahama. The rest of the 11, Nanado alone.
So with that being said, you believe that the minority's claims of the president seeking a bid for 3rd term, there's no basis to that claim, is it? Yes?
I am saying that we will not allow the minority to set an agenda for us.
So you will not respond to that?
We are focused on implementing our manifesto promises, and we are doing that. He's delivering the goods. We won't allow them to distract us with this kind of noise making. They are trying to set an agenda for NDC. We won't accept it. They can't set agenda for us. They should know that their party is in disarray. And you know why they did this press conference? Because their national chairman has run away from their thank you tour. The thank you tour is not holding. It's in disarray. Kennedy Japon has run away from it because they are beating his people. So the party is in total disarray. They needed to just do this press conference to divert attention. It won't divert attention. MPP is in disarray. It's completely disorganized now. And so they need this press conference to push away that kind of thing. It won't hold. We will still hold them to what Ghanaians are. They should go back and apologize to Ghanaians and call it apology tour, not thank you tour. When it is not holding well, then they rise and say they are doing press conference and that's setting agenda and creating all manner of lies, all manner of mountainous lies to distract people's attention. We won't fall for it. The NDC will not follow them to that gutter.
Dr. Tanko Rashid, Computer, thank you for your time this evening joining us here on News Tonight. Now, should note that we are working the phone lines to reach Richard Ahiagba, Director of Communications for the MPP, to speak on this issue as well, and we'll keep doing so. And once we reach him, we will engage him. But away from that, Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress, Joshua Ansah, has appealed to President John Dramani Mahama to exercise extreme caution in the ongoing process to remove Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo from office. Speaking during the May Day celebration, Joshua Ansah emphasized that while organized labor believes in upholding the rule of law, the process must be transparent, fair, and handled with sensitivity, given its far-reaching implications for the country's democratic stability.
Has been following events surrounding your suspension of the Chief Justice. We have read bits and pieces of the petition seeking the removal of the Chief Justice. Mr. President, Organized Labour is gravely concerned about this development. Mr. President, this process you have just begun set the country and our democracy on dangerous slippery slope from which we may not recover. We advise, Mr. President, that you hasten slowly and cautiously on this matter. Your decision on this matter will be consequential for our democracy.
That does it for Insights this evening. Do stay with us. More news shortly. You're welcome back to News Tonight here on GHOne TV. Now, let's return to our earlier story on the minority in Parliament accusing President John Dramani Mahama of harboring ambitions for a third term in office, following the president's recent decision to nominate new justices to the Apex Court. And joining us now via phone is Richard Ahiagba, Director of Communications for the MPP. Good evening to you, Richard. Now, first of all, what real basis and fact is the MPP standing on to make these accusations against President John Dramani Mahama?
Thank you very much. Good evening to your good self and to your listeners or viewers. The evidence is manifest. We saw just yesterday the President appointed some 7 justices of the Supreme Appeals Court to the Supreme Court. An unprecedented act, something that has never been done. At one go, appointing 7 people to the Supreme Court. What's the urgency? Just before they came to power, the General Secretary, my own brother, T.C. Tiabikwete, said to us that appointing even 2 justices to the Supreme Court was excessive. And he indicated that there are enough justices on the bench to deal with the judicial matters arising in the country. So the question is, why 7 appointments to the Supreme Court at a go? 20 by the time these 7 are confirmed. The president has triggered a process to remove the Chief Justice on the back of some very, very frivolous allegations against the Chief Justice. Some things that don't constitute a basis at all whatsoever to even contemplate to touch the third arm of government. The judiciary is key. The judiciary is the guardian of the rule of law and the protector of the rights of minorities in our democracy. The power of judicial review is critical. It's one that ensures that the executive and the legislature operates within the bounds of the Constitution. Why would the president want to remove the Chief Justice on the basis of such weak allegations? Look, where you sit, if I want to find reasons to incite people against you, I can find reasons. Just the way you walk, just the way you talk can become reason why I would say let them remove you as the anchor of your news program. But the point is that the management of your station, should they just take such frivolous allegations and say that, yes, we are going to remove you? No. The third arm of our government is key, is critical. Before anybody can aim at removing the Chief Justice, they must merit the action. The conduct and the omission of the Chief Justice must be such a conduct that it is manifest, it is clear and apparent for every Ghanaian to say that, as for this one, the Chief Justice must go. So there is no basis whatsoever for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to trigger this process to remove the Chief Justice. In giving this matter, we are of the firm belief, indications that were given to us by the NDC and President Mahama in his own utterance in opposition, we have come to the firm conclusion that the appointment indicated to you to the Supreme Court, the backing of the Supreme Court, they are all preliminary steps that is taken to arrive at a place where you will get favorable information from the Supreme Court. You know that what our Constitution says and what it means, the final authority is the Supreme Court. The President is taking this step to back that he will get a certain favorable interpretation from the Supreme Court to the extent that Article 62 actually means that consecutive term of 2 and not a break So therefore, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama qualified to run again in a consecutive election to run for his 2 terms. That is an egregious act. That is an act that is institutional. That we should be confident and that we should uphold. And that's what we see driving our democracy. We think that that's wrong. That should not be accepted, whether it's the Excellency John Dramani Mahama or any other person.
Right. Now, Richard, in our engagement with Dr. Rashid Computer a few minutes ago, he also made the claim, specifically mentioning the fact that this is somewhat a distraction by the minority. What do you say? Because he mentioned that appointments were also made by the previous administration, that's under the Akufo-Addo-led administration. And so is the concern currently the appointments? Is it the number of appointments at a given time?
You should have told Rashid Dr. Computer that he should quit thinking about that. And Ghanaians were angry about it. They shouldn't try to get us even more angrier. He's talking about. It's completely unreasonable. They told us, their general secretary, he's a member, he's the executive of the party. The general secretary, they told us the appointment of 2 justices to the Supreme Court by Akufo-Addo. He says that we have enough justices on the bench to deal with matters in the country. So what is the urgency for here and insult our intelligence with that kind of talk? We are serious. They, NDC, did not labor as much for this republic. Die for this fourth republic country. He should spare us the moralization he is engaged. They are in government, expect them to uphold the constitution and not to take steps to undermine it. So what he's saying should discount it as cheap politics to advance their dubious political agenda. You should discount it right out and not even refer to that as a legitimate question or legitimate point for us to discuss. What we are saying is that the president is engaged in a certain enterprise to subjugate the judiciary, to force it to be able to give him a favorable interpretation of the Constitution, Article 62, to allow for the president to run the test. If that is not the case, His Excellency John Mahama should come out and tell us that that's not what he's doing, so we can hold him to that. But until then, that's what we see him to do, and we will resist.
Richard, briefly, you expect, as the minority, you expect a response from the president on these claims made of his ambitions for a 3rd term in office?
It's a matter of the survival of this fourth republic, that the president comes out clearly to tell us that is not a course he's on, because that's the course we see. His actions are leading to that. If that is not the case, he should come and tell us. I cherish this for the fourth republic, the republican democracy. You should cherish it because that is what is giving you the space to be able to operate as a journalist. Anything that threatens this fourth republic must be resisted. We, the citizens, for our own present interest and for the interest of our children and our grandchildren, for the interest of posterity, we must resist anybody who is aiming at disrupting this democracy. We should not allow for it. You should be angry about any appearance of anybody seeking to subject this democracy to such a needless step, to want to corrupt the judiciary in a way that advances their parochial political interests. I am telling you, this is not a joking matter. This is a matter that goes to the heart of the survival of this fourth republic, the longest republic in the history of our country, and we must not joke with it. Former President John Dramani Mahama, come clear on this matter, and that's not what he's doing, so that we can hold him accountable. But for now, we see him trending in that direction. And I just mentioned that if this is what they are going to do, and if they succeed in removing the Chief Justice, we are saying that we will not cooperate with them in any effort to any aspect of the chapter on the judiciary. Such that it will remain this way. They must know that if they act this way, then it means they are inviting into our politics the idea that the term of the Chief Justice And for that matter, anybody is coterminous with the president, with the president's term. And if he is going, he must go with his judiciary, his everybody. That is what they are bringing, and we will make sure that that does not survive or does not succeed. So you must engage in this fight with us. You must engage in this fight to preserve and protect our democracy.
Richard Ahiagba, thank you for speaking to us this evening. Director of Communications for the MPP, joining us on that issue. You're watching News Tonight here on GHOne TV. We bring you business news next. Tonight, President John Dramani Mahama has moved to allay public fears over the future of the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, stating emphatically that it is not his intention to privatize a state-owned power distributor. Instead, President Mahama says a public-private partnership model is being explored, one that brings in a strategic partner to help streamline operations, improve service delivery, and maintain fiscal stability without relinquishing government control of the ECG.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ECG has been brought to its knees by a culture of poor governance over the last 8 years, with a debt of 68 billion Ghana cedis and rising. If we do not do something drastic, our whole power sector will collapse. We can only bring down power tariffs if we improve efficiency in the distribution of power. Let me assure you, that is not my intention to privatize ECG as an institution. Our attention is more a public-private collaboration to inject efficiency into our downstream electricity distribution system.
In other business news, as part of his nationwide engagement with cocoa-producing communities, the Chief Executive Officer of Cocobod, Dr. Randy Abbey, has visited the Doma Hene Traditional Council in the Bono region. His mission was to listen directly to farmers and chart a new path for Ghana's cocoa sector.
In a move to rebuild trust and reconnect with Ghana's cocoa heartlands, Cocobod CEO Dr. Randy Abbey visited the Doma Traditional Council as part of his working tour of the Bono region. Addressing the people, Dr. Abbey emphasized the need to move cocoa governance closer to the farms.
But humanity in Krana headquarters no, but the Juman and Casano, and Yan Krana. Until I was a minimum penny for 2 years near Pop, the beer. Yedua cocoa, the baby California or Mujumano. Na Yenny or Munko Dikitahu. Na yes, Ansuno. Moamusha Krunuswa Krunia Modiano. Niansu Yabeji Munsira. And Monpai on him futu.
He assured farmers in the Bono region that cocoa prices would see an upward adjustment by August 2025, ahead of the new crop season. Dr. Abbey expressed concern over the lack of transparency under the previous administration, which, he noted, had saddled the current government with substantial debt.
Omaton at $2,600. As ever 2 cocoa nedia 24-25 they retire the Omaton 2,600. It's a car cocoa quafono in a boy. I didn't know bien now so Omamperijo Mama. Wamayati say cocoa farmer no air number 1. Until this year, 25-26 season no. First of all, cocoa season no. This year there will be in August. Yeah, the boafu fro ebeba. Na boafu fro ni ebeba no. Ebe chain Cote d'Ivoire there.
The Dormahima praised the CEO's outreach, highlighting the cocoa's central role in sustaining families, royal duties, and national revenue. She called for better pricing and affordable inputs for farmers while invoking the blessings of Doma's ancestors on the CEO's mission.
Some farmers have been expressing their concerns in the cocoa sector.
But the me can say Edru Bribia, Yana near Mass say buying the bois a queer phone. To me check. A bit to say fertilizer. Quane ever fast beba. Time ever banana would the who apply na the Bibia by scholarship on Asama Mekai. The son Juana Mewo. If you say Caneno na scholarship no a queer for Edu Tama. Yembana beko secondary school na Cocobod wo side Medina yedia and an almost say omode national scholarship why then Abama secondary school
This visit forms part of Cocobod's broader strategy to reform the sector through stakeholder dialogue and farmer-first policies.
That's all the business news this evening. Do stay with us here on News Tonight. More news shortly. You're welcome back to News Tonight. Now to a major development in Ghana's tourism and creative arts sector. Today marks the national launch of the Black Star Experience, a flagship initiative aimed at redefining Ghana's cultural identity and boosting economic growth through tourism, arts and heritage. The event is taking place at the iconic Freedom and Justice Monument at the Black Star Square in Accra, drawing key stakeholders, creatives and government officials. Our team is on the ground with full coverage. Let's take you there now.
With pride and purpose. Long live Ghana, long live the Black Star.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Mr. Rex Umar, our Black Star Experience Coordinator. Right. I wish I could have you do a freestyle for us. He's multi-talented. I'm sure that before we leave here, he'll probably do something for us. He always impresses wherever he goes. Now, this set of groups that I'm going to introduce to you, Your Excellency, I'm braced in goose pimples because this particular gentleman came to me to seek further elucidation of what the Black Star Experience is about. And when I explained it to him, he said, oh, to wait. And it's not going to be a joke, and I can't wait. Unfortunately, he had an accident that has taken him away from us. Very, very regrettable. I'm talking about Brother Maoli Semevo. Yes, may his soul rest in perfect peace. He's part of the Baby Groomer Group, Ghana Dance Ensemble. I've experienced for about 15 years. We've worked together. And I can tell you that their ladies are very energetic to the extent that even as heavily pregnant as they are, they can still perform. And of course, this fantastic group that is choreographed by F. Niteteyate, they say their dance can talk and speak to you. And I'm talking about Noyam. Together, Ghana Dance Ensemble, otherwise known as the National Dance Company, Baby Groomer, and Noyam. Ladies and gentlemen, they're next on the line.
I am Faunie, born before time itself, a gift from Odumankuma, a spirit of freedom, strength, and destiny. I have witnessed the dance of lands, the beat of heart yet begun.
Black Star Experience officially being launched there. We'll bring you more stories on it in subsequent bulletins here on GHOne TV. And some more news tonight. Some drivers working with ride-hailing companies are raising red flags over what they describe as unfair business practices that threaten their livelihoods. On this year's May Day, members of the Greater Accra Digital Drivers Union marked the occasion with a protest on the streets of Accra, demanding reforms to safeguard their rights and welfare.
Clad in red and wooden placards with inscriptions like "Stop blocking drivers' accounts" and "Respect our work," the union's May Day walk turned into a vocal call for change. The union chairperson, Philip Jan Aye, bemoaned the increasing insecurity drivers face on the job, adding that many are attacked with little to no support. He called for better protections and policy interventions, noting that ride-hailing has become a vital economic lifeline for thousands of Ghanaians.
We are of the view that this work has come to stay, and it's of a good thing that happens to us. That is where we also earn our living. But then we want the general aspect of the operations to be as smooth as it should be, because we have challenges with security. Drivers and riders are being killed just because people want to take advantage of their leniency and seize their cars. The way we don't have any social benefit with the work that we are doing it's impinging on us.
Several drivers who spoke to GHOne TV highlighted issues ranging from high commission rates and sudden account suspensions to a general lack of representation in company decisions. They say they feel sidelined and exploited by the app owners.
App companies, treating us in a certain way. We are supposed to be partners, but the kind of treatment we get from them is like we are working like slaves. We are pleading with the government to intervene. We want you to regulate the apps, make sure that because of competition, there's so much that is going on that is affecting us.
We pay as high as 30+% as commission. We all know how much petrol or fuel costs in this country. And at the end of the day, you still pay higher commission, as high as ranging from 25 to 33%, yes, which is unfair. The government should intervene. We've been calling you, talking about this for very long, for so many years. And the government should intervene and also find a way to regulate them. Because if they are being regulated, I don't think they can do whatever they like. And because they're not being regulated, they do what they like. Yes. They sit down there, do their calculations, and what benefits them is what they bring to us.
Public Relations Officer of the union, Daniel Asari, stated that some frustrated drivers are abandoning the trade altogether and venturing into illegal mining just to survive.
Yeah, online drivers and our Greater Accra Digital Drivers Union, yesterday, abandoning say, what ne on fan the minister, transport minister, so now only a kita hudie. Now if you see a benya cars at the mat draft for now. Yenina ye kon eyo kukese galamsey. Now so now make a draft for ne do journey. Akwase galamsey site because what think ha oni adwuma biaye. So once you say bi obetimi aye, aboa me yetimi anya cars at the ama ye draft for ye send the ball say cars do bia or de beba e de bema union in penny for say ye mfa ma ye draft for no ye show mo boss say omo sabetimi akon musika omo de ahyemu na bibia be kwadwo ama Ghana mabu ititu adra for etimi enya car ayusu e wo man mu.
With safety, fair pay and dignity on the line, these drivers say they wouldn't back down until their voices are heard and meaningful reforms are made.
Next on News Tonight, we bring you sports. Football Association has finally released the Black Satellites' 26-man squad for the 2025 Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt, just hours before the team's opening game against the Democratic Republic of Congo. The last-minute announcement has stirred criticism from fans and sports journalists, many of whom had called for more transparency in selection process for one of Africa's most prestigious youth tournaments. The squad features a mix of local and foreign-based talent, including Jerry Afriye, a forward with Cide de Lugo in Spain, and Abdel Aziz Issa, an attacking midfielder currently with FC Barcelona B. The Black Satellites are currently based in Suez, where they face DR Congo on Friday, May 2, at the Suez Stadium. And some more sports news this evening. A new continental champion has been crowned for Ghana boxing as Theophilus Paco Alote captured the Universal Boxing Organization UBO Africa super flyweight title. Theo Lopez achieves the feat after a commanding performance against co-patriot David Tego at the Bukom Boxing Arena in Accra.
The Bukom Boxing Arena roared to life on Friday, April 25th, as Theophilus Alote delivered a thrilling performance to defeat David Tego and claim the UBO African Super Flyweight title. After a cautious start, Alote stunned Tego with his sharp left hook in the second round, setting the tone for a dramatic contest. Despite a brave fight back, Tego struggled under relentless pressure, eventually retiring on his stool before the 8th round. Alote's victory by technical knockout now extends his unbeaten professional record to 10 wins and 9 knockouts, cementing his place as one of Ghana's rising stars. The bout was promoted by Nana's Promotion in collaboration with Wisdom Boxing Promotions, marking another historic night for Ghanaian boxing.
That's it for sports news. Next, we bring you international news. Thousands of white South Africans, predominantly Afrikaners, aged between 25 and 45, have expressed interest in relocating to the United States following a recent executive order by President Donald Trump. The order offers refugee status to those claiming racial discrimination in South Africa, particularly in light of new land reform laws allowing expropriation without compensation. Neil Diamond, head of the South African Chamber of Commerce in the United States, reported that over 67,000 individuals have registered interest through their platform. While the U.S. Embassy in Pretoria has acknowledged the surge in inquiries, it emphasizes that applicants must follow official asylum procedures. You're watching news tonight here on GHOne TV. We now return to the Black Star Square for the Black Star Experience, which is currently being launched.
lands with beautiful aesthetics. From the center, where kings rise from sacred trees, the Akandans. Their steps are stories. Their gestures are prayers. Gold shines upon their brows. Wisdom flows from their tongues. The land that has kept ancient secret beats again. Wonderful. From the south, where the ocean births spirits, the prayerful clay rises. The feet touch the earth lightly. The soul soars to the heavens, the land, the sky, the water, all in secret conversation. all the elements combine to form a strong bond of independence. The Black Star rises again from north, east, center, and south. We converge. The rhythm changes, but the spirit remains. We are the future. We are the legacy. We are the Black Star shining over the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Ghana Dance Ensemble, otherwise known as the National Dance Company, ABB Gruma, and Noyam. Please put your hands together one more time. Now, she is the Queen Mother of, in charge of protocol at the Aflao traditional area. She's a veteran actress. She's a script writer. She was born a creative, schooled a creative, and working a creative. She's indeed a creative person, a tourism person, and an arts person inside out. Member of Parliament for K2 South, and our own Minister for Tourism, Culture, and Creative Arts. Please put your hands together. Let's welcome the Honorable Abla Jifa Gomashi. Please put your hands together as he gets on stage. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Baba Gan.
Yes. That was hilarious, wasn't it? Thank you so much. Yeah, I know I'm a short woman. Bring it down. Good? Okay. Your Excellency, thank you so much. Your Excellency, I think you need to do a little bit more for me. Sorry, please. Yeah. Thank you. Hopefully it works. Thank you. Your Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, colleague, honorable ministers and deputy ministers of state, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, colleague members of Parliament, the Honorable Chief of Staff and distinguished presidential staffers, and I single out Standogbe for the amazing work we have seen on this stage today, the Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area, after Secretariat, Presidential Staffer for the Black Star Experience, Rex, Director, Diaspora and Affairs, KOD, the Chief Director, Directors and Staff of the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, heads and staff of the agencies under the ministry, and indeed the allied MDAs gathered here, colleague practitioners in the arts, culture and creative sector, Nime, Name, Nananum, Enuanum, Novio, members of the Great National Democratic Congress, Alazula, Malaza, Ala Kamyoto, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, what a beautiful evening it has been. And I want you to join me to clap for the performance that we just saw. And also for the models who stood here in the various costumes. To think that they've pulled this off in 48 hours is amazing. Nitete, come and take a bow. Nitete, come and take a bow as I'm reading my speech, so we can save some time. Your Excellency, it is finally here. We are fulfilling one of the important NDC manifesto promises, and I'm so happy. For me, it is heartwarming, as it is momentous, because it is central to the cultural and creative heartbeat of this dear nation of ours, the occasion to officially launch the Black Star Experience. We cannot fail to appreciate the significance of the day and the venue for this launch, the May Day, a day to celebrate the productive and creative workers of Ghana, Africa, and the progressive world. Aiko Namashiam, Aiko Hanyefe, the venue, the iconic Black Star Square, the venue steeped in and reminiscent of history of liberation and emancipation of our country, Ghana, and the towering role played by Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, first President of the Republic of Ghana. Your Excellency, I had the opportunity at a recent event during the celebration of the Ghana Culture Day, organized jointly by the Ghana Culture Forum, the Ghana Tourism Authority, in conjunction with the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, on March 14, 2025, to observe that the world view of Kwame Nkrumah and his ideological posture was crystallized on the continental and Pan-African stage in his concept and conscious project, The African Personality. This had a cultural adjunct, as the arts and culture were perceived and consciously used as a tool for asserting the identity and dignity of the Ghanaian and indeed the African. I did also indicate that we have made important strides since then. During the era of the PNDC, in the early years of the Fourth Republic, in bold infrastructure developments which saw the establishment of the National Theatre, the National Commission on Culture, the restructuring of the regional and district centers of national culture, the W.E.B. Du Bois the W.E.B. Du Bois Center for Pan-Africanism and Culture, the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum or Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, the institution of Panafest, emancipation, and recently, the Year and Decade of Return programs, among others. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have another epoch in the making. It has been elevated before our very eyes. The leadership that is being offered by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his government is setting out policies to improve the creative cultural sector with actionable plans aimed at providing an enabling environment for job and wealth creation and the improvement of livelihoods. The Black Star Experience, a strategic intervention to showcase Ghana's unique culture and heritage to the world. It is posited to enhance the transversal potential of the nation's creative and cultural essence as a veritable offering to the Ghanaian people, Africa and its diaspora, and to the world. It is pivotally designed as a stimulus that moves our creative impulses and culture from the fringes to the center of national development. It is about time, and I thank you, His Excellency, for that. Your Excellency, UNESCO observes that creativity and culture have been the common link through history, knitting together our past, present, and future, and estimates that the cultural and creative industries contribute $2,250 billion United States dollars to the global economy, which is 3% of GDP, and accounts for 29.5 million jobs worldwide and employs more young people than any other sector. Why are we not giving it the respect that it deserves? I am a product of that sector, and I urge you all to give us a chance. Your Excellency, cultural tourism alone makes up to nearly 40% of world tourism revenues. Ghana has to be an important component of this global statistics, and we are determined to do so. We understand your vision, sir. You set up the ministry through an executive instrument in 2013. You aligned the sectors to drive tourism. And on the wings of that, we, through the support of UNESCO, were able to ratify 7 UNESCO conventions, which are yielding fruits today. Your Excellency, those of us in the tourism, creative arts and culture sector are ready and committed to your agenda of contributing in making the paradigm shift. We are aware that the fundamental structures of our socio-economic continue essentially to be dominated by external interests, but we in the sector are determined to challenge the status quo by encouraging local inventiveness, creativity, technology, and the scientific skills of our people towards the development of a truly free, independent, and integrated national economy. You don't clap. Our creative workers, our artists, have been working in these trenches for decades, if not centuries. They are used to the throes of independent enterprise and striving for survival with almost nothing. Usually, we are at the bottom of the pile when the money is being shared. Bring us in the middle and see the magic we'll bring to you. Their call has been to be recognized for what they do and for leadership that provides an enabling environment for them to optimize their potential to national development. The Black Star Experience is one they will cherish. The experience, a representation of cultural, creative, media, and entertainment industries, will become a forum between the creative industry practitioners, the organizations, and government. An experience and a forum that promotes productive engagement and ensures that cultural industries are central to political, economic, and social decision-making. A framework of steering committee comprising the creative and cultural industries, their organizations, and government is therefore essential in moving the experience forward. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts and its agencies, and indeed the creative sector players, are committed to the successful realization of the objectives and actions of the Black Star Experience and its coordinating secretariat. Together, let us give meaning to the call to underline the cultural basis of our nation's development by putting our best foot forward in an innovative, multi-sectorial, and invigorating manner towards job creation and the improvement of livelihood opportunities for our people. Let's enhance African and diasporan solidarity by maximizing the potential of our engagement. The world is at our feet. We will succeed because we know you are holding this chair. I thank you very much, Your Excellency, and thank you for listening. Good evening.
One more time. The Honorable Abla Jifa Gomashi. Right, we're going to have two quick performances, starting off quickly with Lamisi. Please let's put our hands together.
Ngami ya gali kule makapusa miwela oh 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 Tini pasema teye tinare mori taba Beni taba kagodi taba ama aye Yomo funini kwa somare ke kabosu kanga ifunu hune Ngami ya gali kule makapusa miwela hey oh 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 I la ke down I dana ke down Careful yaloma I Kaya pa atanga dana eni yalom Inkusinti pausa kana noto men yala bote Ayo Yeni huneyo Kolendo lefuya Mani baba tatima Kambu kaleheba Bani yelem sela kana na kambang yele sida Ah Demi ya kubi mbaba ni maya kamala sinewe Oh enole ime mbukara ni ime sara kala yunga mima Tatahani la ama Papa you got it
certainly a very rich display of music, culture, and the arts there at the national launch of the Black Star Experience. And that's how we wrap up with News Tonight this evening here on GH1 TV. Many thanks to you for watching. Once again, a happy May Day from Natalie Fort and the entire production team. Have a wonderful evening. We'll take a short breather and carry on with the launch of the Black Star Experience.
She's coming.
in 1957. This ark is the monument to actually memorialize our independence. And that's why when you see on top there, you see AD 1957. For those who understand Latin, AD means Anno Domino, and AD represents after Christ. So we have two ages in all our history. We have before Christ, which is called BC, and then we have AD, which is after Christ. And so Anno Domino, the year of 1957, Ghana chalked a success, and this ark was built to commemorate that success. And when it was built, Kwame Nkrumah, together with his Pan-Africanist comrades, Marcus Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois, and all of them, they envisaged the concept of the Black Star. Because in all our history, you look in the sky, you see a star shining. Because we are miles away, you can see it glitter. But when you go closer, it might not necessarily be white. It could be a different color. And so in all the commemoration of the stars in the sky, it was envisaged that Ghana, the first country to gain independence, was going to be the star of all of Black Africa, including the diaspora. And that is why Kwame Nkrumah talked about the Black Star, the African personality, and all that, to make us proud in our identity and who we were. In the last 8 years, attempts have been made to suppress the role Kwame Nkrumah played in gaining our independence. Indeed, people have said he's not the founder of our nation. Not he alone could have founded our nation. But however you try to suppress the name of Kwame Nkrumah, it has gone beyond our hands. Kwame Nkrumah is a worldwide icon, recognized by the whole world. Recently, I hosted the chairman of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, our brother from South Africa, Motsepe. And while we're sitting and talking, he said one of the things that he learned in school, and that has stayed with him since he left, he grew and became an adult, was what Kwame Nkrumah said after Ghana gained independence. And he paraphrased what Kwame Nkrumah said on our Independence Day. I mean, for a country that had become independent, and we were enjoying and joyful that we were the first nation to become independent, his thinking went beyond Ghana. And he said that, and this is what Motsepe told me, the independence of Ghana is meaningless. It means all the joy we're having is meaningless unless it is linked to the total liberation of the African continent. So that was Kwame Nkrumah for you. But the performances that we have seen here today, I remember as a young student growing up in Legon, we had our little drama studio. And our students in Legon, for their exams and their performances, had to choreograph a drama performance. And we, the students, used to go to the drama studio and pay to go and watch those performances. And they did very well. Beautiful African performances. All of us growing up, maybe of my age, my children here, Shahid and Farida, might not have lived in that age. But we remember those epic performances. The king must dance naked, and how we used to flock to go and watch it. In the chest of a woman, or was it in the bosom of a woman? Those of you who are my age, remind me if I make a mistake. In the chest of a woman. There was one called Jogolo. It was even Jakpata or something. I mean, and that was the golden age of dramatic performances in Ghana. And I remember we used to flock to go and watch those performances. There were even the ones that were the movie. And several, icons in the movie industry, some of whom are alive, some of whom are dead. And we lived through all that era, Gallywood, Kumawood. I remember I asked that they don't show foreign films on the presidential jet anymore, and that we should watch Ghanaian movies. And no, this was when I was president before. And I'm going to give the edict again. The plane is gone for service. When it comes out, ask them to change all the repertoire and put Ghanaian movies. And I watched a very interesting one between Lil Wayne and I've forgotten his name, our half-caste. When some armed robbers attacked him in conspiracy with his wife, and then Lil Wayne and his wife found him lying down. And the wife said, "Oh, armed robbers." And Abonosa. And Lil Wayne said, "Debi obroni ofi play mun neto form." And then they took him home, nursed him, and Lil Wayne was pounding fufu and said, anywhere he puts the yam, he should pound it. And then he kept putting the yam, the guy was pounding, and then he wanted to taste one of the yams, he put it in his mouth, and the guy knocked his mouth with the pounding stick. I mean, these are interesting, they are creative. And, I mean, we have the talents. We all knew about Niyate, may God bless his soul, committed to dance choreography. We used to go to the National Theatre to watch the Ghana Dance Ensemble, Ghana Dance Company, No Yam, all of them. I'm happy that in all this economic crisis and all that, they still are alive and that the talent is still there. And I hear even though Niyate is gone, his son has taken over and is doing fantastic creative work. And it just lets us know that the talent is there and we must continue to nurture it. I mean, we watched the palm wine music, and I asked if the king of palm wine music was still alive, our GHOne, and I hear he's alive. This is a man we must honor before he passes. Because that was a genre of music that has become a part of our musical archive and our folklore. And for people like this, we shouldn't wait till they die and go and cry at their funerals. And so wherever GHOne is, Difa, you and your team, organize some ceremony. Let's honor him. I know he's been honored in the past. Let's honor him again before God calls him. In the last month or so, we have buried two icons. One, Naamanua of Wolome fame. I got to meet her not too long ago, last year, yes. She came to my office out of the blue. And we had listened to Wolome music growing up. So when she came, I was quite excited. And we struck a very good friendship. Unfortunately, after I got to know her, it didn't take long. She fell sick. The family came to me. We did everything. We paid the medical bills, but if money could pay for her life, she would be alive. When God decides, he takes what he has given us. The other who passed recently, and because I was too busy with the affairs of state, I didn't get the opportunity to at least go and pay my respects to him, was the last of the Osibisa Teddy Osei. Growing up, these were people who made us proud. And they carried African music and Ghanaian music to the rest of the world. And I pray that God grants him peaceful rest. But there are many people like that who have had the talent, they have performed, we've enjoyed their music in many sectors, in sports, in all the creatives, in film, in music. And today, we ask ourselves, how are their lives? Many of them are living as paupers. Even in old age, money to be able to afford the medicines, to be able to look after themselves, pay for their hospital bills, has become a problem. I've done my best from when I was president before, and even in opposition and as president again, to adapt several of them and provide them with sustenance every quarter in order that they are able to live a meaningful life. But that is what I can do as an individual. I believe that as an institution, like we tried to do in the past, we should set up an aging artist fund and be able to provide something for these people who have made us happy in the past, who we knew were talented and creative and are falling on hard times. And so that will be a part of the Black Star experience, that we create something that is able to look after some of these bright stars who gave us joy when we were growing up, and be able to at least give something back as a nation to them in their trying times. Ladies and gentlemen, we gather in front of the Independence Arc to relaunch the Black Star. That's our forebears in Nkrumah, and not only in Nkrumah. I'm supposed to waive this at some point, but he can't explain to me when I should waive it. So you hold it for the meantime. We gather before the Independence Arc to rededicate ourselves to the concept of the Black Star, and that Ghana, as the first Black African nation south of the Sahara to gain independence, we want to recapture what Ghana meant at the time to the rest of Africa. And let me tell you, it wasn't only Africa, it was the whole of the black world. They were proud of Ghana as the first Black African nation to gain independence. And there's something that happened on the day. President Nixon, came to Ghana during the independence. He was not president at the time. But while they were jubilating at Ghana's independence, there was this black guy who was so happy and, dancing and jumping all over the place. And President Nixon asked him, how does it feel to be independent? And he says, I don't know, because I'm an American. We're not liberated yet. And at that time, blacks in America did not have the vote. Black people did not vote in elections in America. And at the time, Americans were fighting their civil rights movement to give black people the freedom in America to be considered the same as white Americans. And so Ghana became independent even before our brothers in America, the blacks, gained their civil rights. And so he says, I don't know how it is to be independent. I'm American. I'm from Alabama. That's what the guy said. But subsequently, in 1960s, the blacks in America also got the vote. And so Ghana's independence is a very pivotal event. And that's why we're drawing our inspiration for our tourism experience. We have a lot to market. We have talent. We have creative. And so we have a lot to market to make our tourism experience something that people will crave for. And so as your president, I will open the creative space. I'm going to open the door for you. And when I open that door, let nobody close it again. And we're going to do this together, all of us. And so whatever ideas you have, we're open to it. And let this be the start of the Black Star experience. And we'll hand this over from government to government to government. It doesn't matter whether it's NDC or MPP or PNC or CPP. We are all the Black Star. We're Ghanaians, and we're proud of our heritage and our culture. Now let me inflict this speech on you. Mercifully, it's not too long. I think it's just some 5 pages or so. And so I've said what was in my heart. Now let me tell you officially what, they're asking me to tell you. This evening as okay, the flag is here. It says, this evening as I hold the flag of the Black Star experience, a symbol of our renewal, national spirit and cultural identity, I am filled with immense pride and hope. So here's the flag. Okay, you can take the flag now. Today we're not merely launching a brand, we're reclaiming our narrative and projecting to the world a bold new vision of Ghana. A Ghana that stands tall, vibrant, proud, and unstoppable. We're launching a movement, the Black Star Experience. From the rich tapestry of music, dance, choreography, and immersive digital presentations you have witnessed tonight, it should be clear that this initiative transcends tourism. It is a declaration that Ghana is the cultural and creative heartbeat of Africa. We're determined to redefine how the world sees us, and more importantly, how we see ourselves. The Black Star Experience is about restoring our pride, celebrating our heritage, and unlocking the vast potential within our cultural, creative, and tourism sectors. Ghana must be recognized not only for its historic achievements, but also for its dynamic present and limitless future. A powerful legacy has shaped our nation from the enduring kingdoms of Akwamu, Dagbon, and Ashanti to the fearless Pan-Africanist leadership of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, whose vision of African unity still inspires generations. And yet for too long, we have underinvested in what makes Ghana truly exceptional. That is our culture, our creativity, our warmth, and the way of life. And that must change. And I say that from today, that will change. The Black Star Experience is our solemn pledge, one, to rebrand Ghana, and in that we will showcase to the world the brilliance of our festivals, the rhythm of our music, the beauty of our fashion, the power of our films, the richness of our cuisine, the wisdom in our storytelling, and the unmatched warmth of our people. Two, we'll create jobs. We will empower millions of young Ghanaians, particularly women, by unlocking opportunities in the creative and tourism industries, nurturing entrepreneurship and innovation, and creating sustainable livelihoods. And three, we'll attract investment. We'll draw in global investment and forge new pathways for inclusive growth and prosperity by positioning Ghana as Africa's premier destination for cultural tourism and creative collaboration. Let it be known that the Black Star Experience is not a one-off event. It is a 365-day celebration of Ghanaian ingenuity and excellence. And so here, we're not going to have one day where we say, today is the Black Star Experience. It's the year long. There will be different components, and I'm going to come to that. And so the creative energy of our people will radiate daily from every region and every community. Imagine the majestic rhythms of the Hogbechocho Festival in Anglo, the electrifying art of the Chalewote Festival right here near the Black Star Square, the dazzling colors of Fetu Afashe in Cape Coast, broadcast to global audiences, the Ojura festivals of Ekwapim and Ashanti, Abuachiri of the people of Ifutu, Homowo of the people of Ga, and the Bogum festivals of the Dagbon people. Kente weavers, imagine Kente weavers in Bongre are celebrated as national treasures. Kumawood and Gollywood filmmakers dazzling international screens, global musical icons recording albums in studios across Accra to Takoradi. Hollywood producers choose our castles and landscapes for their blockbuster movies, partnering with the private sector to build amusement centers, water parks, and cableways, domestic tourism that takes our people to different regions every month. Imagine tourists not simply visiting Ghana, but immersing themselves in our heritage, experiencing our stories, and returning home as cultural ambassadors of Ghana. That is what we call the Black Star experience. During the campaign of last year, 2024, I promised to launch this initiative as part of the 120-day compact of my administration with Ghanaians. Today, I stand here to deliver on that promise. But ladies and gentlemen, we're just getting started. Through our Big Push policy for infrastructure, we'll commit significant investments into the tourism space. We'll commit investments into the creative economy. We'll upgrade our tourist sites to world-class standard. We'll provide critical support to creative industry practitioners and promote Ghana on digital and physical platforms. So to our musicians, our designers, our chefs, our filmmakers, our writers, and our performers, I say this is your time. Let your talents flourish and let your creativity soar. Ghana believes in you and the world is waiting for you. To investors, I say Ghana is open for business. Partner with us to shape a cultural economy that benefits our people and enriches the world. To the world, we invite you to experience Ghana like never before. Come and feel the heartbeat of Africa. Come and witness the power of the Black Star. And yes, when we host the Ghana Fashion Week in July, it's going to be a full 7 days to spotlight our vibrant fashion industry. And this is the interesting one. I, your president, will proudly take to the catwalk because this experience is real and it belongs to all of us. If you notice, I wear made in Ghana clothes. This is my round neck. We popularly call it Jonathan, yeah? And then I have political suits, all sewn by Ghanaian designers. And even if you see me wear a suit, it is made in Ghana. And so on that day, I'm going to go into my wardrobe and I'm going to change 3 times. So at these food fairs, which will hold nationwide, we're going to get our caterers to come and cook the best of Ghanaian food, and Ghanaians will flood there, foreigners will come and have a taste of Ghanaian cuisine. So ladies and gentlemen, I told you this speech was short. Together, let us make Ghana a true cultural and economic powerhouse, shining brightly like the black star that we see on top of this Independence Arc. And let us be reminded of the words of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He says, we face neither east nor west. In Ghana, we face forward. The Black Star experience is that forward that Nkrumah talked about. It is our pride, it is our legacy, it is our future. And let's make it legendary. I thank you, and may God richly bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And culture breathes. Our cinema, the rhythm of our sound, and the bold flavors.
Her story is a powerful one, rich in culture, bold in creativity, and alive with the energy of our people. Join us in celebrating the heart and soul of Ghana.
See Ghana, feel Ghana, enjoy Ghana.
Hello.
Ghana, the land where
stones across the 7 seas in the face of all the world. We, whose steps the world could not decipher and chose to call dance. We who hold the cauldron where the Creator cooks his food and sends to the rest of the world. We who beat our chest because it's as good as a drum as any animal skin could ever be. We who hold this golden matter at the center of the world. When any matter is too difficult, they send it to us and we unknot it in wisdom knots. And so we hold the words of wisdom. The world calls it philosophy. Welcome to the crossroads of dreams. Welcome to this market of 9 moons, where in the beginning he said, let there be light, and all the rest is history. It is wonder for us to see. And so we stamp our feet with confidence and say, come back home. Come back home across the 7 seas, the ones you crossed with blood, but come back home not shackled on your wrist. Make sure you're not shackled on the mind. Come back home to ancestral welcomes where the fires are ready, leaving seeds for all of you to hold your place so that our shadows would find their places on the walls. Come back home to the multitones of our languages. Come back home to the beautiful colors of all the things that we wear at the crossroads of dreams. Ago, fiha. A good matter is short. Many dreams were left at many midnights, many junctions ago, but tonight we wake up. Ghana, we wake up. What the fathers hope to see, young ones like me hope to touch. For every morning, mother wakes up, greets the sun, beats the earth with her palms, places them on her breast. They are too full. After they have fed all her children at home, she says, come back home to this place where there is plenty. Not plenty of food to fill our bellies, but plenty of dreams to ensure that we bring back all the beautiful things that made Timbuktu what it was, the beautiful things that made Dubois' voice what it was. So come back home to memories not only of Nkrumah, for we have invoked our ancestors too many times, they hardly have time to be dead. Come back home to living ancestors. Come back home to you and me. Let's place hands, not just because they would rest in the belly of hands, but because they would rest in the belly of dreams. And we, in this land of gold and green, the blood and toil of our fathers, the sweat of our mothers, my people, come back home to this place where our minds beat, where our pulses are as good as drums. My people, come back home to the Black Star, knowing that in the blue mirage of day and against the diamond canvas of night, the Black Star continues to thrive and lead the way. And so tonight we light this torch, place it on the lighthouse. Wherever you come from, 7 seas, rivers, whichever it is, we are pointing the way forward ever. Backwards, never. We are taking our place, telling our own stories. And this time, maybe we are our own hunters, voraciously chasing our dreams and all the things they said were not possible. My people, when I turn my back to you, it is not out of disrespect. A good matter is short. Ajinyame, Ghana be ye. With us.
Right, thank you very much. Before we proceed, I'd like to make a few acknowledgements here. Male model wearing chocolate by Cocobod, female model wearing Christy Brown, costumes and styling by the National Dance Company and Wendy Lartizan, and of course fashion curated by Makeba Boatin of Fashion Forum Africa. On the stage, I'd like to invite Padiki. She's been doing a live painting of events here as they proceed. So I'd like to invite her as she makes a presentation to the president. Oh, wow, this is beautiful. Yes, please. Okay. I think you need to turn it to the cameras. Yeah, we need the lights, yes. Congratulations, Padiki. Beautiful live presentation of our art piece. And thank you very much, Mr. President. It's going to hang in the presidential office, Mr. President says. Wow. All right, I also like to inform you that we have at the peripherals of the event, we have snacks. And so please, as we get out of here, you can please go and help yourself. As I say, that glory be to the Almighty Father and the most secret high, perfect peace, perfect health, long life and prosperity be unto you and I now and forevermore. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahman-Rahim, Malik Yawmiddin, Yakana Budu wa Yakana Stahim, Idna Surata Mustaqim, Surata Lazina, Amta Alayhim, Giru Magdubi Alayhim Waladwali. Amen. All right, so thank you, Mr. President, for coming us and leaving the hands of Walasi. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Walasi. Thank you for having me. I'm with the drummer from Senku Live, and I'm going to do a couple of songs. The first song is titled Chant. God, they are inside, God, they my inside. Every man be God, oh, I. 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 Dromo, are you ready? Talk I man talk I go talk you know the bow down guy who they make it who they give to you who they make moves who they break moves who they kill a gun who they wreck gun it be God or it be man or it be God no they see God I they see man they are inside. They are inside. You know fi choose sides. They are inside. You know fi choose side. Man they search God. God they search man. Man they search God. God they start lost. What do they look for? They are inside. they look for, it they your inside. What did they look for, Dubai, it they your inside. What did they look for, the club, it they your inside. You be God, oh, you be God, oh, you be God, oh, you be God, oh, Let's go. Asiyaw. The next song is titled We All Go Die. Everybody here, one day we all go do it. Whether you like them or not. You get car, you go die. You get pick trotro, you go die. You be MPP, you go die. You know be MP, you go die. Everybody go. We can only laugh about it. What's that? Hamburgers, case, man. Be you go school, you go die. You know go school. Agba so. Agba bodo. You too good, always they make love. You thief, always they break law. Soldier, doctor, lawyer, cocaine dealer, sakawa. We all go die. We all go die. We all go die. We die. We go die. We all go die. Maybe you marry first, you go die. You know marry self, you go die. Maybe you go school, you go die. You know go school, you go die. Maybe you know book, you go die. Your head diapers, you go die. Maybe you get car, you go die. You dey drive benzo, you go die. You dey use your leg, you go die. You dey big tro, you go die. Maybe you be thief, you go die. Maybe you be popo, you go die. You be soldier man, you go die. You know be soldier man self, you go die. Waboduku, you go die. Sakura, you go die. Brazilian hair, you go die. Hair, you go die. Maybe you born first, you go die. You know born self, you go die. Maybe you get money, you go die. You know get money self. We all go die. We all go die. Thank you very much. My name is Walasi.
Takes you beyond the surface into a world shaped by rich aesthetics, effortless style, timeless literature, and a heritage that lives
and alive with the energy of our people. Join us in celebrating the heart and soul of Ghana.
See Ghana, feel Ghana, and